What's going on, everyone? Ted Carr here, and today I'm going to show you why some people make a lot of money online with their sales, with their products, with their services, while other people don't. Okay, so you got this person here who's not making many sales, and then you got this person here who is making a lot of sales. Okay, now I want to walk you through the difference between this person and this person. There's a lot of differences. And if you start doing more of what this person's doing, you're going to start getting the results that this person's doing. How quickly? I'm not sure. But you got to keep doing what this person's doing until you start getting the great results. And you're only going to get the great results if you're doing what this person's doing. You're not going to get the results if you're doing what this person's doing, no matter how hard you work, no matter how much work you put in. You're just not going to get the results that this person's getting if you're doing what this person's getting. Okay, so let's take a look at what this person's doing to make sales. A lot of sales. We're talking $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 worth of sales or more every month. What is this person doing? Well, let's find out. So there's a few things. Number one, they first and foremost are probably selling something. No, they're for sure selling something that is already being sold. Okay, so number one, sell what's selling. Sell what's selling. Okay. Now, this is also known as momentum selling. You've taken the momentum of the market. The market's already going one direction. They're already buying weight loss, right? They're already buying muscle building. They're already buying relationship programs. They're already buying wealth programs, how to increase wealth. They're already buying programs on how to save money, right? So we've got things that have to do with the body, like weight loss and muscle, and other health things, like how to get rid of like arthritis pain and back pain and things like that. Sure. We have relationship programs that have to do with like getting into relationships or saving relationships, maybe having better sex in your relationships. And then we have the wealth category. Okay. So the people who are making money online, they are selling what's selling. Top three sellers always have to do with the body, our relationships with other people, and our wealth, the amount of money we make. That's pretty much it. Pretty much it. You might find a couple outliers here and there. Like I know a guy who's doing pretty well selling handstand courses, but he's definitely an anomaly. Okay. So you want to sell what's selling. Sell what's selling. That's first and foremost. That is the big difference between the guys and girls who are selling a lot versus the people who are not selling a lot. And if you think that your program doesn't have to do with weight loss, health, muscle, doesn't have to do with relationships, doesn't have to do with wealth, you can think again, because you can tie a lot of things back to these things. Like let's say for the handstand program, that guy could be selling it in a way that says, hey, I'm going to help you develop nice, toned, lean muscle. Because in order to do a handstand, you have to have nice, toned, lean body. You need to have a healthy spine, or we're going to make your health you got to increase the health of your body in order to do a handstand. We got to lose some weight to do a handstand. Or maybe he's selling it in the way with relationships and saying, hey, by doing this handstand program, you'll be able to link up with a lot of other people who are doing handstands, and you can find the love of your life doing acro yoga and gymnastics and handstands with your partner, right? So you got to learn to tie whatever it is you're selling at least back to the benefit of one of the things that's already selling. Okay, if you try and sell something that's not selling, like try and sell like stickers or bottle caps or something, or freaking leaves from the Amazon, unless you tie it back to one of these categories, it's gonna be very, very difficult to sell. Okay, so that's the first and foremost thing. Sell what's already selling. Once you're doing that, now you need to consider some of the other points here. You've got to be number two, you've got to be known. People need to know you. And I always use this example. If there's a homeless man on the street and he's in the middle of a busy street, a bunch of people walking around, and he's sitting down, and he's got his bucket out, and he's asking people for money, he's probably going to make a good amount of money sitting there because it's a busy street. A lot of people see him. They know about him. He's sitting right there. They see his sign. They're going to give him some money. But take that same homeless man and you put him in this dark alley where nobody goes. He's got this bucket out there, and he's saying, "Hey, I want some money," but nobody's there to really see him, or not many people are there to see him. He's not going to make that much money sitting there. So if you extrapolate that out into what you're doing online, you don't want to be like the homeless man in the corner. You want to be like the homeless man in the busy streets. You want to be seen. You got to get seen. Okay, so when I say known, I also mean seen. And I don't know why I use that analogy, but it's a great example. Like something as simple as saying like, "Hey, give me money." It's not going to happen if you're in a dark alley when no one's there. But if you're being seen a lot and you say, "Hey, give me money," the chances are someone will give you money. Now, I don't recommend just going around saying, "Hey, give me money." Of course not. I recommend having something to offer people. That's what we're going to get to next. Or that's what we just covered, actually. We just talked about having something that actually helps people with weight loss and with the muscles or with their body, with their health, with finances, with their relationships. You have to have something people actually want. Once you have something people actually want, now you got to get seen. You got to get known. Okay. And the way to do this is number 3 is you have to consistently you have to consistently show up on people's feeds giving genuinely helpful advice. So consistently be helpful. Now, being helpful and just saying, "Hey, here's what I ate today," are two different things. Showing people what you ate today, showing people your new outfit, showing people the workout you did, whatever, that's not as helpful as showing up consistently and teaching people how to get the result that they want to get. So if you want to show people what you ate today, great, that's cool. But if you want to make it actually helpful, you can let people know why you ate those foods. You say, "I ate this because I want to get rid of inflammation. And I found that this food lowers my inflammation. I found that these foods help me stay at my ideal body weight. I find that these foods digest the best and eliminate bloating and gas." Right? So you're explaining why you're eating the foods. That's actually helpful. If you just say, "Hey, I ate some spinach and I ate apple today and I had a banana smoothie," okay, whoop-de-doo. It's not really helpful. But if you say, "Hey, I had the spinach because it's super high in iron." If you're low on iron, spinach is the way to go. I also have bananas because they're super high in potassium. And if your electrolytes are out of balance, bananas are the way to go. Plus, I threw in this apple because it's got pectin, and pectin fills you up, so it actually makes you feel fuller longer. So it's so much easier to keep satisfied, so you can eat a little bit less calories, but feel totally full, which allows you to lean out a lot faster and have that dream body that you've always wanted. Bam! That's super helpful, right? If you post that consistently, people are going to take notice. I mean, even me, as I just said that out right now, as I hear myself speaking, I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty helpful. I could make a video saying something like that, and I know a lot of people would find it helpful. And the reason I know a lot of people would find it helpful, I'm not guessing here, is because I have a YouTube channel with 35,000 subscribers. And the reason I got 35,000 subscribers is because I was consistently posting helpful videos talking to people about my diet and my lifestyle and my fitness routines and explaining why I do the things I do. Okay. So first thing, like we mentioned, you got to have something people want. You need to have something people want. Sell what's selling, momentum selling. Then you got to be known, you got to be seen. And the way to get known and seen is to be consistently putting out helpful content. That's one way. Another way of being known and seen is just to get, let's put this number 5, is do shout for shouts with people. Like give other people shout outs in exchange for them giving you a shout out. Do shout for shouts. My friend Anastasia, she grew her Instagram. I met her when she had 700 followers on Instagram. The next summer I met her, she had 7,000. From 700 to 7,000. I asked her how. She said shout for shouts. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. I met her again the following summer. Now she had 500,000. I was like, what the fudge did she do to get 500,000 followers? How'd you go from 7,000 to 500? I asked her. She's like, shout for shouts. Are you serious? Same method. She's like, yeah. Then I started the next summer. She had over 1 million followers on Instagram. I'm like, yo, what are you doing to get that many followers? I'm like, let's sit down and show me. So I sat her down on the chair and got her to take out her phone and be like, show me your DMs, show me your Instagram, show me how you're doing it. She showed me all her DMs. All her DMs are just asking people, hey, you want to shout for shout? Hey, you want to shout for shout? Hey, you want to shout for shout? That's all she does. That combined with consistently making posts, right? So consistent, high quality photos and shout for shouts. If you have a good looking Instagram and you're doing shout for shouts, and you're doing the hashtags, I do not see how it's possible for you to not get followers. Like a good looking Instagram combined with shout for shouts, combined with consistent posts, you're gonna get followers. But that's not enough to make sales. Okay. So just because you're consistently posting high quality photos and your Instagram's good looking doesn't mean you're gonna make sales. What's gonna make sales is having something people want, right? Having something people actually want to buy, and because they have a problem that they want solved, and you actually proving to them that you can help them by actually helping them. That's the craziest thing. If you want to actually help people, guess what you have to do? You have to actually help them. If you want to help people for a living, you have to help people. You have to help people every day, as often as you can. Help people, help people, help people, help people. Help people. It's amazing how many people forget this. Amazing how many people think that, like, oh, I want to help people for a living. Okay, how do I get money? And they forget that helping people is the main reason why they want to make the money in the first place. Like, if you want to make money helping people, don't forget, you got to actually help people. How do you help people? You got to be seen. And the way to get seen is to be consistently putting out helpful content that looks good on Instagram and actually sounds good on YouTube. And you're doing shout for shout, so you're leveraging other people's audiences. If you don't leverage other people's audiences, it's going to be very slow, very difficult to grow your Instagram. You can still be done by going into hashtags and commenting on other people's posts and things like that, for sure. But it's going to be way faster if you do shout for shouts. Way, way, way faster. Okay? So these are a few of the main ways that people make a lot of money online. But some other ways I want to share with you here today are you've got to understand that, move this over here, you've got to understand that certainty is the number one buying emotion. Okay, the number one buying emotion, we'll say this is tip number 6. Certainty is the number one buying emotion. If someone is not certain that they will get a result from buying your program, buying your coaching, they're not going to buy. Okay, they're not going to buy. If they're not certain, they're not going to buy. Now you might be wondering, well, how do I make them certain? If I could just get people certain, they would buy, right? Right. But how do you make them certain? Well, you need to have certainty. You need to have certainty. You need to have certainty that your program is kick-ass. You need to have certainty that you can help people get results. And the reason why that's true is because sales is the transference of emotion. Sales is the transference of emotion. And when you can transfer your certainty, when you're feeling certain, and you can transfer that certainty to your prospect on the phone, or in the DMs, or on YouTube videos, if you can transfer that certainty, they're going to buy. But if you're not feeling certain, then you're not going to be able to transfer it over to your prospect, and then they're not going to buy. So how do you transfer that certainty? Well, it comes in many different ways. It really helps to have results, either results from yourself, like your own results, or results of certain other clients that you've worked with, or results of other people that you can look at and be like, hey, look, that person did that thing, and I know how to do that thing, so I'm going to just do what they did to get that thing. And knowing that the results are out there, knowing that it's possible for this to be done, and having a step-by-step map to make it happen to get those results, it's going to give people certainty. Okay, so looking at your own results can help you get certainty. Looking at your client's results is going to help you get more certainty. But really, how it comes across on the phone when you're selling somebody your program, it's going to come across in your tone. The sale is made with the tone. Okay, the tone of your voice. Now, you can follow the best phone script. You can know exactly what to say on a call. But if you completely mess up the tone and you don't put enough emphasis on the right words, or you don't raise your voice at certain times or lower your voice at other times, and you don't have that tone mastered, the whole script goes out the window. It doesn't really matter what you actually say anymore because your tone is off. So I know a sales rep, one of my mentors, her tone is so badass. It's so good. She's one of the top 1% closers in the world. She's one of the top 1% closers in the world. Her closing rate is ridiculously high. She closes like 40% of the people she speaks with. And I'm like, how is that? And every time I get on a call with her to chat with her, and we do some role playing together to practice the script and practice our lines, her tone is so incredible that I always feel sold. I'm always like reaching my back pocket to take out my credit card and like pay her, even though we're just role playing. Like she's closing me so well every time we have a call because her tone is so good. And the more I talk with her, and the more I practice my lines with her, the more she says to me, "Wow, Ted, your tone's improving. Your tone's getting better." I'm like, "Wow!" Like she's even noticing, and I'm putting extra emphasis on certain tone. Like it feels kind of phony, feels kind of fake to use the tone in that way. Then you got to realize if you want to make certainty real, if you want to get this across, if you want to really sound certain, you have to sound certain, and you do that with tone. And you realize that in movies, when you watch Leonardo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt or any of your favorite actors, actresses act, their acting is so good because they're acting and they're using the right tone. They're not just reading the script, they're using the right tone in the script. And it's acting. They're bringing it to life with acting. They could just read the script and be boring, but they're not going to get the role if they just read the script boringly. You have to actually act, and you got to use the right tone. And it might feel forced, it might feel fake on the phone, but by using the right tone, you will come across as much more certain, and you'll be able to transfer that certainty to your prospects so that they too can feel more certain. Because again, sales is the transference of emotion, and people always buy with emotion. Humans always buy with emotion. We justify with logic, but we always buy with emotion. When I got my Tesla, I didn't buy the Tesla because of all the logic behind buying a Tesla. Sure, it's the most logical car to get for sure, but I didn't buy for the logical reasons. I justified my purchase with the logic though. So I was already sold emotionally. I was sold emotionally. And the reason I was sold emotionally is number 7 here, is because of Elon Musk's story, the story of Tesla. The story of Tesla sold me so well. I was so sold. I was such a Tesla. I still am such a Tesla fanboy. The story sold me so damn well. Because with stories, look, stories create emotion. Stories create emotion, and emotion sells, right? Emotion sells. And so because emotion sells, we say stories sell. And there's this famous quote. It says, stories sell and facts tell. Stories sell and facts tell. And this is kind of the same thing as saying that like we buy with emotion and justify with logic. Okay. So logic is the facts. Like fact, Tesla is gonna be the fastest car. Fact, Tesla is the safest car. It's got the highest safety rating. Fact, Tesla goes the most miles per charge. Fact, Tesla's battery outlasts any gas car. So if a regular gas car lasts 20 years, a Tesla will last 40 years. You can get twice as many miles out of a Tesla over the lifespan. So it's going to last twice as long. It's going to be faster. It's going to be safer. Plus, it's such a smooth ride. These are all facts. But the story, and I could tell you more facts about Tesla all day long, right? But it's not going to sell you unless you're already sold on the story of Tesla. And when you read Elon Musk's book, or when you watch YouTube videos about Tesla or Elon Musk, you're going to be so sold because it's so inspirational. He's got some really emotional stories there, right? Very emotional stories. The story of Tesla is incredibly emotional. And the story of Elon Musk is incredibly emotional. And when you listen to a story, you can't help but be sold. It's human to be sold. To be human is to be sold. Like, because we love stories. We love stories. And so number 7 here is that people who are crushing it online have great stories. They either have one powerful story or they have multiple powerful stories. Usually they have multiple. So you've got to learn how to craft your story. And guys, I didn't make much money online at all until I put together my story. I put together my story in a webinar. And I was making like $2,500 a month, between $2,500 a month and $5,000 a month with a 30-day raw food challenge program back before I ever like really shared my story. I was just being genuinely helpful and posting consistent content and helping people get results with raw foods, and people were buying just based off that. But once I showed people my story, and I put it in a webinar format, I was able to go from $5,000 a month to $18,000 a month, my first month. Then I went to 20K a month. Then I went to 25K a month. Just by repeatedly telling people my story in a webinar. And the more if I go back now and I watch my webinar, I'm like, no wonder people are buying, because the story is so freaking good. The story is so good. And if you want to see my webinar, you can go to tedcarclass.com. Now, I will let you know straight up that two things. Number one, you might get sold. You might watch that webinar and be like, holy shit, I want to buy Ted's program now. Or, and the other thing that you got to know is that TED Car Class, I have it set up right now, so 50% of the traffic goes to one webinar and 50% of the traffic goes to another webinar. So I'm currently split testing two different webinars. They both happen to be performing at the same rate. One's like a 30-minute webinar without much story. It's just genuinely helpful advice. And then the other webinar is like 55 minutes. It's still good advice, still super helpful, but it's got way more story in there. So I'm not sure which webinar you'll get when you go to tedcarclass.com. It's like you're just pulling the 50-50 lever here. But if you do get the long webinar, cool. You'll get a great story from me, and you'll be like, I don't know how you couldn't be sold when you listen to that story. It's like pretty impactful. The other webinar though is just really genuinely helpful advice. So feel free to go to techcarclass.com, see what I'm talking about there. If you get this one, cool. You'll learn a lot. Definitely learn a lot. If you go to this one, you'll at least study how I did my story. Both are helpful. Both you learn a lot. But the point is, the story is what really sells people. Okay, in a big way. In a big ticket way. And it's pretty easy to put together an awesome story when you have the right framework. So when I put together the story at tedcarclass.com, I followed a framework. I followed the same framework every Hollywood film uses. I'll give you the short version right here. You want to use a brutal before. So, hey, here's how my life sucked. Talk about how your life sucked. People watching are going to be able to relate, or they're going to be able to feel pity, they're going to feel sad for you, they're going to feel empathy for you, they're going to be emotionally involved at this point, because right away it's a brutal before. Then you're going to talk about your divine discovery, what you actually discovered and how it changed your life. And this, when you talk about your divine discovery, the people watching are going to have their own divine discovery in the moment that you're talking about yours. So it's really cool. When you tell people about, this is so huge, I'm going to slow it down. When you tell people about how you discovered what it is that you discovered and how life-changing it was, in that very moment of you sharing the story of how you discovered that thing, of what you discovered, the people watching are going to have their own divine discovery. So when you discuss your light bulb moment and how it completely changed your life, they're going to have a light bulb moment. It's going to change their life. Why? Because they're emotionally involved at this point. They've just gone through your brutal before. They feel sorry for you. They feel bad for you. They feel empathetic. Like, damn, I wouldn't want to be there. They feel empathetic. Then they're involved, and then you tell them about your divine discovery, and they're like, wow, that makes so much sense. That's so epic as well. They're having the same divine discovery that you had. You bring them into your world. And then at the end of your story, you want to talk about the now wow, how your life is now, what kind of results you have, how epic everything is, how awesome it is. And at this point, they're going to do the math in their head. They're going to think, hey, wait, if he was at brutal before and he discovered this thing, and now he's here as a result of that thing, well, I should probably also take action on this divine discovery. And it's this divine discovery, this is what you're actually selling. Like this divine discovery thing, this is what you're actually selling. You're selling them on helping them implement this divine discovery. And the reason they're going to want to sign up and work with you is because, well, look where you were first and foremost. You were at this brutal before. Then you discovered this thing, and now you're here. Of course they want to be there. So your offer, guys, has to help them implement this divine discovery that you had. When your offer helps them implement this divine discovery, they're going to buy. They're going to buy. If they made it to the end of the story, they're at least going to buy, or they're going to want to buy. Not everyone's going to buy, but they're going to want to buy. They're going to want to buy. And that's the best you can do. The best case scenario you can get to is getting people to want to buy. Not everyone's going to buy, but you got to get people to want to buy. And the number one reason people don't make sales, remember at the start we talked about those two stick men. We got one guy here who's not making many sales, and then we got another person here who is making sales. The number one difference is that the guy or gal who's making sales has something people want. And the person who's not making sales doesn't have something people actually want. This is it's the most fundamental piece to the whole puzzle here. This is the most fundamental piece of the whole puzzle, is having something people actually want. So this takes us back to the very, very start, where we see that we have to start with what people want. And again, it's either going to come down to something to do with their body, typically something with image like weight loss or muscle building. It's going to come down to relationships, getting dates, picking up girls, picking up guys, getting dates on Tinder, Bumble, whatever, having better sex, keeping the marriage together, having a better marriage. Or it's going to come down to wealth enhancement, wealth increase. And this can take form in so many different ways. You can help people increase their wealth by having them increase their Instagram following. You can help people increase their wealth by helping them save money on taxes. You can help people increase their wealth by having more energy throughout the day with a vegan diet. Guys, you can help people make more money just by helping them feel better, right? You can tie it back to wealth. You can tie it back to relationships. You can tie it, whatever you're offering, back to one of those, three things: body, money, and love. But you've got to tie it back. And you can do that with a story. You can do that with a story. So these are just some of the differences. There's a few other differences, but these are just some of the differences, some of the key differences between the person who's selling a lot and the person who's not selling a lot. Also, I'm going to leave you with one final piece here. The person who's selling a lot, this is also key. Fuck, I'm so excited you guys are here listening and stay to the end. This is great. Guys, the big differences, the people who are selling a lot, they have a system. They have a system to predictably and repeatedly make sales. And the reason I'm so stoked to share this with you here at the end is because I want to say that once you make your first sale, when you make one sale, you can make another. And if you can make 2 sales, well, you can make 4. And if you can make 4, you can make 8. You just got to keep refining your system. The goal must be to make just one sale. That has to be your goal initially. Just make one sale. Your number one objective is to make one sale. Because if you can make one sale, and then you can refine your system on how you made that sale, you can do it again, and maybe raise your price. Another cool thing you can do, I call this the leapfrog method. And this is why I'm so freaking stoked to share this with you, is because even if you make an ebook sale, let's say you make an ebook sale and it's only $10. Okay? Let's say you make a $10 ebook sale. Now, a $10 ebook sale, if your goal is, let's say, 10 grand a month, well, you're going to have to sell 1,000 ebooks to make 10 grand. It's pretty hard to make 10 grand a month with freaking $10 ebooks. Pretty hard. There's some ways of making it a bit easier, but for the most part, it's going to be pretty hard to sell 1,000 copies of an ebook at $10 each every single month. But here's what you can do. If you can learn to sell an ebook at $10, well, you can probably learn to sell an ebook at $20. And instantly, you're now cutting your workload in half. Now, you don't have to sell 1,000 copies. You can only sell 500. 500 ebooks at $20 each, that's 10 grand a month. Pretty cool, right? But you don't even have to sell 500. You just need to get to a point where you're selling 100. If you can sell 100, then you're making 2 grand a month, right? $2,000 a month. Now here's where it gets good. Selling 2,000, you're making 2 grand a month, selling a $20 ebook, while simultaneously growing your Instagram account, right? Because you got to grow your Instagram account, got to grow your YouTube account in order to make 100 sales at $20 each. You got to keep finding new people. So if you can systemize your growth on Instagram and YouTube, there's a way to do it. Anyone and everyone is growing their Instagram and YouTube. They have a system in place, and they're consistently, repeatedly, and predictably growing their Instagram. Same goes with sales. Okay, but let's say for a minute you're growing your Instagram by 1,000 followers a month or more, and you're making 100 sales a month or more with your $20 ebook, making $2K a month. You can now leapfrog. Instead of selling $20 ebooks at $100 each, or sorry, $20 ebooks 100 times a month, you can now leapfrog to putting together a program that teaches people how to grow their Instagram and sell ebooks. And you can show people how you're growing Instagram by 1,000 a month and how you're making $2,000 a month with ebooks on the side, right? And then your program, you can now easily justify the cost of that program. You can easily justify the cost of that program for $200. Easily. Super easy to justify, especially put together a webinar talking about how you weren't growing your Instagram before. You had no idea how to make money online before. You had no idea how to put together an ebook before. All the tech was confusing. It was overwhelming. You had no idea what you were doing. You figured it out. Now you can put together a program and sell it for $200. Now what's really cool is you only have to sell 10 of these to make $2,000 a month. But because you're in the habit of selling 100 or something, you're gonna have a good system. Plus you can have a webinar in place. It's not gonna be that difficult for you to sell 20 of these, which would get you to a place where you're doing $4,000 a month. It wouldn't be that difficult for you to sell 30 of these. Let's say you sell 30 of these. That's instantly gets you a place where you're doing $6,000 a month. Now you're in the bigger leagues, and now you can turn around. Here's what's cool: you leapfrog again, leapfrog once more, and now you put together a program that teaches people how you're teaching people how you're doing $6,000 in a month. Program: How I made $6,000 a month on how do I make $6,000 a month with a webinar. Boom, and you sell that program. You can easily justify that program for $1,000. Okay. And now you get to a point where you're selling 10 of these a month. Boom, that puts you in a place where you're now at $10,000 a month. Okay, these are just hypothetical numbers, not income claims or anything. Can't guarantee what you're gonna do, but this is a really awesome framework, really awesome system that works. And this is exactly what I did. I'm telling you this system because this is exactly what I did. I see other people doing it too all the time, but just not many people are talking about it. So I'm stoked to share it with you here. I couldn't grow my Instagram. I couldn't make sales, but then I figured it out. I put together a webinar way back in the day. I sold it for $297. It sold really well. I rose the price to $497. It sold really well. I rose the price to $997. I made the program completely like whole nother program, created a whole different program, teaching people how I did this. And now we're selling a program for north of $997. We do have some programs for $997, but our premium program is well beyond $997. But still, we have programs for $997 that sell well. So, point is, this is a system, and once you have the system in place, you can crush it. All you have to do is continuously grow your following and get eyeballs on your offer. Get eyeballs on your offer. When the system is in place, all you have to do, when the system is in place and it works, all you have to do, obviously you have to deliver on your program, make sure your customers are happy, but all you have to do is continue to get known and get seen and be consistent with putting out helpful content. Continuously do the show for shouts. Continuously help people. Continuously transfer that certainty. Get your story out there, get eyeballs on your offer. And so how do you get eyeballs on the offer? You gotta keep growing. You gotta keep growing using the Instagram methods that work, the YouTube methods that work. You gotta get eyeballs. You can run ads as well if you want. You can run ads if you want. If you're at a point where you have $1,000 or more course, you can justify running ads. But you gotta get the system in place. And the system, it can look pretty simple, like a really simple system. In case you're wondering what it looks like, I'm just gonna share this with you and then I'll finish. Really simple system is you have a landing page, a ClickFunnels landing page. On the next page of the landing page, you have, this gives people to opt in with their name and email. Okay. You have a video. It's a video anywhere from 10 to 60 minutes. It's a webinar. I've seen webinars work really well at 60 minutes. I've seen webinars work well at 10 minutes. 10 to 60 minute webinar. Get people to watch it. On the next page, you get people to fill out an application and say, hey, if you want to book a call with me and you want to get me to help you with the program, if you want me to help you implement right here, help you implement that divine discovery that we talked about, just book a call. They go to book the call, but first, before they book the call on the calendar, they got to fill out an application. If they don't qualify on the application, if like you say you only work with people between ages 25 and 45, and they say that they're 46 or above, or they're under 18 or whatever, you'd send them to a results page. And the results page basically says, hey, you filled out your application, your results came in, and it looks like, although you don't qualify to get on a call with me right now, you can still sign up for this other program. And this other program, you can sell it at a lower a lower price point. But you can sell them right then and there on a program that you have if they don't match the criteria that you're looking for on the application. If they do match the criteria you're looking for in the application, they can go ahead and book a spot with you on your calendar. We use Calendly for this. If you're wondering what app software we use Jotform. Jotform works great, and Calendly works great for the calendar. Now, once they book a spot on the calendar, then you want to invite them to a Facebook group. Facebook invite. So I used to, after the calendar, I used to send them like I still do, but I used to show them right away a pre-call video, like saying, hey, before you get on the call with me, here's what to expect, blah, blah, blah. I don't do that anymore because the call is typically like 24 hours or 48 hours in advance. So I send them the pre-call video later. Instead, I immediately invite them to a Facebook group. So we can get them in the group. We can send them a DM on Facebook and start talking on there and making sure that they're going to show up for the call. Okay. So send them to a Facebook invite, or we should send them to a Facebook invite group after the calendar. From this point, you send them a DM, you confirm that they're going to get on the call with you, and then you take the phone call, say PC for short. You take the phone call, you transfer that certainty that you're going to be able to get them the result. If you can't get them a result, obviously, the great thing about doing the phone call is that the phone call allows you to make sure that you can actually get them a result. So the phone call allows you to make sure you can actually get them a result, and allows you to transfer that certainty if you can get them a result. Okay. So if you can't get them results, if you cannot get them results, then you hang up the phone. And we do this a lot. First 15, 20 minutes in a phone call, we tell people, hey, look, this program is not for you. So instead, what we do is we just send them to this page right here where they would have gone if they didn't qualify for the app in the first place. Because the phone call allows you to qualify them once more. If they are a good fit and you do transfer that emotion well enough, then they're going to sign up for your program and you're going to get paid and they're going to get the results that they're looking for. Okay. So everyone at this point is happy. This is it. This is the system. And all you got to do is get eyeballs. You got to get opt-ins. Opt-ins on your landing page. Eyeballs on your webinar. Okay. Eyeballs. And if it's not converting, if you're getting eyeballs on your webinar, but people aren't booking a call, well, that's where you need to troubleshoot some things. There's a lot of potential reasons why that wouldn't be the case. Perhaps the webinar is too long. Perhaps the offer is not exactly what people want. So you got to tweak it. You got to refine it. You got to make adjustments as you go. Okay. Maybe the link to freaking book the application doesn't work on your video. Maybe the link doesn't work. Maybe it's not. It's not spoken fast enough. It's not spoken clearly enough. Maybe you're not telling the right stories. Maybe you're not hitting on the right pain points that they're having. If you're hitting on the pain points that they're having and you're offering solutions to them, they're going to keep watching. If you're telling a good enough story, they're going to keep watching. Okay? So got to refine. It's rare that you get this right the first time, by the way. It's rare you get it right the first time. Whether you're doing this on your own or whether you're doing this coaching, it's rare you're going to get it right the first time. I've had to tweak my webinar like 15 times before I got it just right. So once you've got that set up and it is working and you are getting applications and you've cracked the code, it's just about sending eyeballs to the landing page. And you do that with Instagram, with YouTube, with ads and all that. So that's it. Hope you found this video helpful. In fact, I'm pretty sure you did. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have watched this long. If you did find it helpful and you want to book a call with myself or someone on my team and we can help you set this all up, we can help you set up your system, we can help you tell your story, we can help you dial in the tone on your calls. We can help you help people. We can help you get more show for shows. We can help you get known, be more consistent, and help you become more helpful and help you put together an offer that fits into one of these winning categories, whether it's body, relationship, or wealth. Can definitely help you do that. Just go ahead and book a call with either myself or someone on our team at coursecreatorcall.com. And you'll be able to book a call with us then. And in fact, I'll show you what that looks like. If you go to coursecreatorcall.com, you're brought to this page right here. You can see our application. So if you scroll down, you'll see a bunch of our testimonials. And that's that. I will see y'all later. Peace out. Much love. Adios. Ciao for now.